The Varath Empire had conquered 47 star systems in less than a century. Their warships, massive constructs of living metal and quantum-threaded armor, had reduced civilizations to ash with methodical precision. When their flagship, the Eternal Dominion, entered Earth's solar system, it broadcast a single message across all frequencies. Surrender your world. Bow to the Empire. You have 72 hours. Commander Anna Volkov stood in the war room deep beneath the Ural Mountains, her ice-blue eyes fixed on the holographic display that showed the Varath Armada, 300 vessels arranged in a perfect geometric formation around Mars. Each ship was larger than Earth's largest cities, their biomechanical hulls pulsing with an eerie bioluminescence that made them look like deep-sea predators circling wounded prey. "They think we're primitives," she said, her voice cutting through the tense silence. "They've analyzed our technology, counted our ships, measured our weapons. They've done the math." Dr. Louis Chen, the lead physicist of Project Prometheus, stood beside her, his dark eyes reflecting the dancing lights of the tactical display. His fingers moved across a haptic interface, pulling up data streams that only he could fully comprehend. "The math they've done is incomplete," he said quietly. "They don't know what we've been building." Anna turned to face him. Louis looked exhausted. He hadn't slept in 3 days, not since the Varath had first appeared at the edge of the Kuiper belt. His black hair was disheveled, and there were dark circles under his eyes, but there was something else there too. A fire, a terrible certainty. "Show me," Anna commanded. Louis manipulated the hologram, and the display shifted. The war room disappeared, replaced by a different view, a massive facility hidden in the Mariana Trench, 7 miles beneath the Pacific Ocean. The structure was enormous, a cathedral of human engineering that had taken 15 years to build in absolute secrecy. "The Varath believe they understand quantum mechanics," Louis began, his voice taking on the passionate intensity it always did when he discussed his work. "They've mastered quantum entanglement for communication and basic computing, but they've never discovered what we found. The quantum foam itself can be weaponized." Anna had heard this before, but she needed to hear it again, needed to believe it. "Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, Louis. We're about to bet our entire species on your theory." Louis smiled grimly. "Reality isn't solid, Anna. At the smallest scales, spacetime is constantly creating and destroying particle pairs. It's like the universe is boiling. What we've done is figure out how to turn up the heat." He pulled up new schematics, the Prometheus device. It looked deceptively simple, a sphere 30 meters in diameter, composed of layers of exotic matter that shouldn't exist according to conventional physics. At its core was a quantum singularity, a captured moment of the Big Bang itself, stabilized and controlled. "When we activate Prometheus," Louis continued, "it will create a cascading quantum destabilization in a targeted region of space. The Varath ships are made of smart matter, nanoscale machines constantly communicating and reorganizing. Their hulls, their weapons, their engines, everything is quantum entangled for maximum efficiency." "And you're going to sever those connections," Anna said, beginning to understand. "Not just sever, reverse them." Louis's eyes gleamed. "Every quantum link in their ships will turn against itself. The same technology that makes them invincible will become their executioner. Their ships won't just fail, they'll tear themselves apart at the molecular level." Anna was quiet for a long moment. "What's the rain?" "From our calculations, approximately 1 astronomical unit. We can hit everything from here to the sun." "And the side effects?" Louis's expression darkened. "There will be electromagnetic interference across Earth for approximately 6 hours. Satellites will go dark. Power grids will fluctuate, but we'll survive." He paused. "The Varath won't." Anna looked back at the holographic display showing the Varath Armada. 300 ships, millions of beings probably. The Empire had never shown mercy to anyone they conquered. Entire species had been enslaved or eliminated. Earth would be no different if they surrendered. "How long until we can fire?" she asked. "Prometheus is charging now, 18 hours. The ultimatum expires in 72. They'll expect an answer long before then." "Then we give them one," Anna said coldly. "We tell them we need time to discuss terms. We tell them whatever they want to hear." Lewis nodded slowly. He'd known this was coming, but the reality of it still weighed on him. He wasn't a soldier. He was a scientist. But he'd seen the footage from the other worlds, the conquered populations, the cities reduced to molten slag, the systematic extermination of any species that resisted. Sometimes, he thought, mathematics demands a solution, no matter how terrible. 48 hours later, the situation had deteriorated. The Verath, growing impatient, had destroyed the International Space Station as a demonstration of resolve. 300 souls vaporized in an instant. They'd also eliminated Earth's communication satellites, cutting the planet off from any direct contact with the Armada. Anna stood in the same war room, but now it was crowded with military leaders from every major nation. The President of the United States, the Premier of China, the European Union's High Representative. They were all there, either in person or via secured quantum-encrypted links. "Commander Volkov," the President said, his face haggard with stress, "the Verath are demanding a final answer in 6 hours. If we don't respond, they'll begin orbital bombardment of major cities." "Then we respond," Anna said firmly. "We tell them yes, we surrender." The room erupted in shocked protests. Anna raised her hand, and Lewis stepped forward, activating a new holographic display. "Ladies and gentlemen," Lewis said, his voice carrying an authority that silenced the room, "Prometheus is fully charged. We're ready to fire. The Verath believe they've won. That's exactly what we want them to believe." He showed them the targeting solution, a quantum wave function that would propagate through space at the speed of light, invisible and undetectable until the moment it struck. The Verath sensors, sophisticated as they were, couldn't see it coming because it traveled through dimensions they didn't know existed. "When we fire," Lewis continued, "there will be no warning. One moment their ships will be functional. The next they'll be clouds of atoms. The entire armada will be destroyed in approximately 2.3 seconds." The room was silent. Then the British Prime Minister spoke up. "Dr. Chen, what you're describing is genocide on an unprecedented scale." Lewis met her eyes without flinching. "Yes, Prime Minister, it is. The Verath have killed billions across 47 star systems. They came to Earth not to negotiate but to conquer. They've given us a choice. Submit or die. We're offering a third option." Anna stepped forward. "We didn't start this war. We didn't ask for this, but humanity has never bowed to tyrants, and we won't start now, not even if those tyrants come from the stars." The vote was unanimous. Humanity would fight. 4 hours later, Anna transmitted Earth's surrender message to the Verath flagship. It was humble, defeated, exactly what the Empire expected. The Verath commander, a being called Dulzara, responded with cold satisfaction, informing Earth that occupation forces would begin landing within the day. Anna closed the channel and looked at Lewis. "It's time." They walked together through the underground facility to the Prometheus control room. It was surprisingly small, just a circular chamber with a single interface console at its center. Lewis approached it, his hands steady despite the magnitude of what he was about to do. "The targeting solution is locked," he said softly. "All Verath vessels are within range. Once I initiate the cascade, there's no stopping it. No recall, no mercy." Anna placed her hand on his shoulder. "Lewis, in all the time we've worked together, I've never doubted your calculations. Don't doubt yourself now." He looked up at her and she saw the fear there. Not of the Verath, but of what he was about to become. A mass murderer on a scale that history had never seen. But in his eyes, she also saw resolve. "For Earth," Lewis whispered. For humanity, Anna replied. Lewis pressed his palm against the interface. The console flared to life with quantum fire, patterns of light that hurt to look at directly. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Prometheus device awakened. In the war room, every screen showed the same thing: the Verath Armada preparing for their victory. And then, in an instant that would be studied by historians for millennia, everything changed. The quantum wave hit the Verath ships simultaneously. For the briefest moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the ships began to glow from within, their biomechanical hulls pulsing with colors that shouldn't exist. The quantum entanglement that bound every atom of their exotic matter reversed polarity. The Eternal Dominion was the first to die. Its massive hull simply came apart, each molecule repelling its neighbor with the force of a nuclear explosion. In 2.3 seconds, exactly as Lewis had predicted, 300 Verath warships transformed into expanding spheres of superheated plasma. On Earth, every electrical system flickered. The sky lit up with auroras visible even at the equator as the quantum backlash rippled through the planet's magnetic field. But humanity's infrastructure held. Lewis's calculations had been perfect. In the Prometheus control room, Anna and Lewis stood in silence, watching the holographic display. Where the Verath Armada had been, there was nothing but debris and radiation. Not a single ship remained. Not a single life. "It's done," Lewis said, his voice hollow. Anna looked at him, saw the weight settling on his shoulders, the terrible burden of what he'd accomplished. She'd seen that look before, in the eyes of soldiers returning from war. Louis Chen had just killed millions of beings with the press of a button. That he'd done it to save billions more wouldn't make it any easier to live with. "You did what had to be done," she said quietly. "Did I?" Lewis's hands were shaking now, the adrenaline finally wearing off. "Anna, I just committed genocide. I erased an entire expeditionary force. Somewhere out there, the Verath Empire is going to receive word that their armada is gone. They'll send more ships, more soldiers. This isn't over." "No," Anna agreed, "it's not over, but you've given humanity something we didn't have before: time. Time to prepare. Time to build more weapons. Time to take this fight to them before they can bring it back to us." Lewis looked at her sharply. "You're talking about an offensive war. Anna, we don't even know where their homeworld is." "We'll find it," Anna said with cold certainty. "The Verath made a mistake today. They thought we were weak. They thought we'd surrender. They didn't realize that humanity's greatest strength has always been the same: we adapt, we learn, we survive." She pulled up a new display, showing the wreckage of the Verath ships. Already, recovery teams were preparing to study the remains, to reverse engineer their technology, to learn their secrets. "They demanded Earth bow," Anna said softly. "Instead, we showed them that humans don't kneel, we rise. And if the Empire wants war, we'll bring them a reckoning they'll never forget." Lewis looked at the destruction they'd wrought, at the cosmic graveyard where the Verath Armada had been. In his mind, he was already designing new weapons, better defenses, ships that could take the fight to the Empire's doorstep. The Verath had started this war with an ultimatum: humanity would end it with fire. And among the stars, in the cold void where 300 ships had died, a new truth was being written. Earth had been tested and had not been found wanting. The age of humanity's isolation was over. The age of reckoning had begun. The end.